What's up, YouTube? King Smog has returned to pollute your social media stream. Rapper Polo G was celebrating the release of his album Hall of Game in Miami when the vehicle he was driving in was pulled over for tinted windows. When an officer approached the vehicle, the driver allegedly became irate.
Come on!
After the officer requested that he roll his window down. I mean, the bottom line is this: they complied by pulling over in the first place. Haven't you heard Polo G's new album?
If 12 coming, we gonna take them on the chase.
Now, eventually the driver complied, and that was when the officer said that he heard someone in the vehicle state the car was bulletproof, which only prompted the officer to inquire about weapons being in the vehicle. According to Miami PD, the occupants of the vehicle then became silent and quote unquote began to look nervously at each other. Misconception alert, misconception alert. Police officers, listen closely now. We are routinely seeing a new video on the internet get posted of a police officer firing his weapon at usually a black suspect for a lackluster reason, and it's the same scenario. Pulling people over for petty ass shit and then making a mountain out of a molehill. If it's a tinted window issue, then write him a ticket for a tinted window and be on your way. No, that's not the reason why you pulled him over. You pulled him over because you know that they're rap stars and have heard in the past that rap stars have been known to carry guns, carry drugs, do this, do that.
Do this, do that.
And let's not forget about how you unconstitutionally stereotype and profile people. The fact that you associated them talking about their car being bulletproof with the notion that they could possibly be carrying guns in their car is an indication of how desperate you were to create a false sense of danger for yourself and your fellow officers. Let's also not forget the amount of daps he would have gotten from his colleagues, with additionally a new level of respect from superior officers, which works to the arresting officer's advantage when being considered for promotion. Making the incident more alarming was the fact that Polo G's manager, aka his mom, was in the caravan of vehicles heading to the after party when Polo G's vehicle was stopped. Her frustration, fears, and truth were captured while she stood by a platoon of police cars. With the increase in police vehicles due to Polo G allegedly getting physically violent with one of the officers.
Hey, shut up! Where the fuck shut up! All of this for two boys? Where are my sons? Where are my sons? We're not tolerating it. Yeah, look at, please video all of this for 2 years with no guns. Where are my sons?
Calm down. Calm down.
Where are my sons?
Listen, ma'am. What we got going on here is an ongoing investigation, all right? Investigation. And that's, hey, don't
touch me. I didn't touch you.
Don't pass the screws down. How about that?
Girl, please.
Where are my sons?
I'm the bodyguard with you.
All right, he's in his car. He's
Are
complaining
my
with
children
me.
safe?
Yes, he's safe. He's safe. I made sure of that.
Because this on my Instagram. All of this is because my son Polo G in a licensed vehicle with fucking security and a driver, okay? He wasn't even the person driving. Do you know how scary that is? And then when I go and approach them to ask them about my children, and namely my minor son who's 16, they tell us if we don't leave that they're gonna lock us the fuck up. I need y'all to spam.
They marched.
How far?
They marched.
Okay,
I must say 40 police that march we down the street.
I do not know if my children are safe.
What's going on?
I do not know if my children are safe, and I need you motherfuckers to flood Miami fucking police department and tell them to let my sons go.
Polo G.
They have Polo G, they have T-Baby, and I am not having it. My children will not be a casualty. I have raised my children right. They are respectful people, and we are celebrating the success, and this is how it ends, not on my watch. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of taxpayers' money. Ridiculous. And the only crime that they committed is being motherfucking black and successful. Ridiculous. We're a car full of women, and you know what they told us at the end of the day? Them white man told us, motherfucking move or you going to jail too. What? Look at them.
I met the white man.
Look at them. Oh, and then they putting their hand on their gun. Look at them.
Flip it. Look at that.
Look at them. Look at them.
Stop. Leave this.
It's black.
Bitch,
Call them bitches and tell them to let my mother.
who's that right here? Who? Slow down, slow down.
Now, according to Miami PD, Polo G was aggressive when asked to exit the vehicle, stating, "Fuck you, what the fuck do I gotta get out of the vehicle for?" Polo G's defiance was allegedly so bold that a cop was forced to grab Polo G out of the vehicle, and it was during that struggle that the officer and Polo G both ended up on the ground. While the arresting officer was struggling to put cuffs on Polo G, he allegedly sustained blows to his chin, forehead, and cheek from the rapper. One officer even claimed that Polo G had mounted the officer and delivered a series of blows to his face via elbow. Now, this is the narrative that the police want us to believe. While an officer was attempting to extract Polo G from the vehicle, they both ended up on the ground where a struggle ensued, with both of them rolling around. Polo G is yelling, "I will kill you. I swear I'll use these fists to beat the shit out of you and knock your ass out." Now, eventually, Polo G ends up mounting this officer, and while he is on top of the officer, he ends up delivering elbows to his face. Now, this is what an officer supposedly witnessed. The officer who sustained the injury felt multiple elbows and punches, keyword punches, to his chin, forehead, and cheek. And to top it all off, he never mentioned anything about Polo G mounting him or getting on top of him. I don't think that's something he would have left out, man. Then you have the threat, right? The threat of Polo G saying he will use these fists to beat the officer's ass. So he's saying that he's gonna use his fists, right? But the only independent officer outside of the officer who sustained the injuries is saying that there was no fist used. There was just him on top of the cop using his elbow. Okay, so he's on top of the cop, right? He's got full use of all of his upper body, right? I mean, he can headbutt him, he can punch him in the face, he could do this, he could do that, but he's elbowing him, right? He's choosing to use his elbow. I just don't believe it, dude. Sorry, not believing it for a second, dude. I'm not believing the cop's statement, and I'm not believing that Polo G was assaultive to the officer. I'm sorry, with all those officers present at the scene, I just am not believing that Polo G got on top of the cop and started punching him or elbowing him, quote unquote. And here's another thing, right? What's up with the cop just standing around watching it happen? I mean, why would he even state that he saw that? I mean, once you see that, shouldn't you actually say that you saw that and then immediately went to assist the officer and subduing the suspect? I mean, you just said that he mounted the officer and delivered elbows to his face, but you didn't say anything about you aiding the officer and subduing the suspect, helping the officer cuff the suspect. And the whole thing sounds really fishy when you put real world lenses on it and you're aware of what transpires when you get pulled over, as well as the logistics behind it. We're able to see these incidents are getting posted to the internet every single day of the police interacting with the public. A couple days after his arrest, his attorney Brandon Cohen filed a motion to get his property released. As of June 14th, $15,000 in cash and over $100,000 in jewelry had not been returned to Polo G. Mr. Cohen also stated that they have gathered witness statements that totally contradict the statements of Miami PD. Not surprising, considering their statements contradict themselves. He also anticipates a comprehensive investigation and, quote, complete hearing on all the facts and circumstances, unquote. Now, as I wrap this up, I want to ask you, is Polo G a legitimate threat to the community of Miami, or are the hip-hop police in Miami out of hand? Shit, man, I'd say they're not just out of hand, but they are straight out of pocket. With that being said, I thank you for allowing me to rid your social media feed with the most toxic of fumes, and I ask that you please like, comment, and shoot that sub.